And joining us now to talk more about what's been going on in Washington is Maine Senator Sen Collins. Senator Collins, thanks so much for joining us tonight. Republican leaders are calling on McCabe to testify before Congress. As a member of the Senate Intelligence Committee, what do you want to ask him?
Well, McCabe has already testified before the Intelligence Committee earlier. Now the Judiciary Committee is also going to be looking at the issues that he's raised in his recent book. I think that it's important that we delve into how the investigation started, but frankly, I have far more confidence in the special counsel Bob Mueller's investigation than I do in the testimony of Mr. McCabe, because the Inspector General of the Department of Justice found that he lied under oath 3 times. He lied in total 4 times, and that was the reason that he was fired. He had a very brief but troubled tenure as the acting FBI director.
He clearly has a credibility issue, but do these accusations give you pause at all?
I've always been concerned about the accusations that have been made about possible collusion between the Russians and President Trump's campaign. That was the whole reason that I've always supported the investigation of the special counsel. And I think the best thing that we could all do is to allow the special counsel to conclude his work. It looks like he's in the final stages. He's already brought several indictments and has secured some convictions. And he has the independence, impartiality, and credibility to do this job.
I want to move now to the president's national declaration of a national emergency to get funding for the wall. You opposed that move. What is your beef with it?
I am strongly opposed to the president invoking his national emergency powers. I don't believe that's what the law was intended to cover. The president is repurposing billions of dollars that were approved by Congress for other projects, not for this project. And for him to do that completely undermines the role of Congress, the appropriations process, and I believe is of dubious constitutionality. If the president wants more funding for the wall, he should work with Congress through the normal appropriations process. So I support the lawsuit that has been brought, and I believe that this was an unwise decision by the president.
We just want to tell our viewers a little bit about the lawsuit. Maine has now signed on to that lawsuit. 16 states in total have done so. Now, Maine's Attorney General Aaron Frey says he was contacted by the California Attorney General's office to ask if Maine would join the suit. He says the decision really wasn't difficult for him.
The state of Maine has very significant concerns, A, about the unconstitutionality of the actions that are being taken by the president, and also because the state of Maine has about $160 million of funding that Congress has appropriated that is now vulnerable to the president sweeping that for a project that was vetted by Congress but not approved by Congress.
So Attorney General Frey said that there will be little or no cost to the state as a result of this. And he said he did talk with the governor's office about it, but that it was his decision to do that. You support this move. Do you think it'll do any good, though?
I do. I would not be at all surprised if the courts find that the president's action is contrary to the separation of powers laid out in our Constitution under Article 1. It is the Congress that has the right to control the purse, to appropriate funds. And keep in mind that the president had signed the laws appropriating these funds. So I don't think under the Constitution that he can unilaterally decide to move these funds, which were legally appropriated from one project to another, unless there are grounds under the National Emergency Act, which usually covers either catastrophic events like the attacks on our country on 9/11 or severe natural disasters.
All right. Senator Susan Collins, thank you so much for taking the time tonight. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Cindy.
Good night.